good working relationship with the WWE, and one of the stars for Lucha Extreme is actually the head trainer is the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez.
Oh, okay.
And like he's done it all, man. He traveled the world. He's wrestled all over the world. He's wrestled like just names, like a encyclopedia of names, and being able to be in a car with him for 2-3 hours and just hearing stories of how it was in the days and how he sang, and he was on a B show, and the B show drew 24,000 people. I'm like, that's a B show? I mean, come on now. But, no, just being around, like, I guess quote unquote veterans that have been there, done that, and seen it all is just, it's amazing. I mean, that's what my ultimate goal is. I mean, I would love for professional wrestling, and especially the indie team, to be what it once was and how it used to be, like where it's just sell out after sell out,
Absolutely, brother. I mean, it definitely is not as organic as it used to be, where you could go to any territory and find a good show. You didn't have to just stick to one brand and constantly have it shoved down your throat and just wonder, okay, well, eventually when are they going to get to the good stuff and have to ride it out? And it seems like the independents are on the rise. I mean, in your opinion, what's your thoughts about the independent scene, on the horizon and today, right now in the business?
This is probably where I'm going to get in trouble, but I hate. Okay, so my favorite analogy is we're a profession, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is professional wrestling. Like this is probably the only professional sport on the planet that once you debut or make your mark in it, like you stop training and whatnot. I mean, like the NFL, they don't get signed and then say, oh, I may come to the camp or I may go to practice. It's like that's like one of the big things that's irks me about this. I mean, I take this profession and this sport very, very real, and this is, I wouldn't have moved here from Hawaii to California if, I didn't respect the business and want the business to succeed. So, my main thing is, like, if you're a professional wrestler, you should carry yourself in a professional manner. I mean, no one's going to be, like, jacked like John Cena, but, there's a lot of bad things I've seen, and it just bugs me about it. But I don't want to become that bitter veteran or that bitter wrestler about something I love so much.
Right. You can't worry about the negative stuff. There's always going to be a bad apple that spoils the bunch every now and then. But hey, man, I mean, if you see something, out on the road, and you might not approve of it, you just got to, say, hey, you know what, that's not my thing, and keep it moving. You're worried more about your career, not about what the next man's doing. But
right.
I can understand. I've heard some stories, so I appreciate that, at least, that you can at least open up a little bit. Hey, man, this is the OJP Wrestling Show. We don't hold no punches back on this show, so you can say whatever you want, however you feel, brother.
All right, cool.
I would say this: who's your favorite opponent so far? It seems like you've been in the business for a little bit over 5 years now, correct?
Yes.
And who would you say would be your favorite opponent to get into the ring with? Who do you feel like you've learned you've learned the most from, or helped develop your talent in the ring to make you a better wrestler?
By far my favorite opponent, and my best match that I've ever been in so far to date is with Oliver John, man, old school Oliver John. Like I said, his attention to detail in matches, man. It made, like, we wrestled this past December, and we went like a 30-minute Broadway, and with people that have been heck out of each other, if you will. And I was blessed enough to have that footage get shown to Dave Meltzer, and he, Dave Meltzer, I've been reading his stuff for years, in a PWI magazine, and like what he says goes a long way in this industry, and I was fortunate enough to have like him, Dave Meltzer himself, say, hey, you know what? That was such a great match. If I was rating it, I would give it a 4.5 stars. And for Dave Meltzer to say four anything is very rare, especially in today's industry / sport. So, that was one of my highlights. And it wasn't all just me, because there's it takes two to tango.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely Oliver John brought the best out of me in that night.
Awesome. And that's great, that to still say to this day that your favorite opponent or your best opponent in the ring is your mentor, the man that's taught you, from day one. And, I'm sure that there's other people that, you've danced with in the ring, and, that you probably, obviously go balls to the wall, but to have your mentor still be your best opponent in the ring means a lot, I'm sure, because it's always like, you're that young lion always trying to, beat the big lion, the old lion, so I get it.
Right. The teacher becomes the student becomes a teacher, but no, he's got some more tricks up his sleeve that he hasn't revealed to me yet.
Never that. I can get it. Yeah, that never. And I can't relieve all the tricks, right?
Yeah.
So I see you've been in the rings with Mustafa Saeed and Christopher Daniels. You've been with some stars there, my brother. What was it like getting into the ring with Mustafa? Because, that's one half of the gangsters from back in the day in ECW. The charisma alone, the man hardly said anything, but yet people were just watching every movement that team made in the ring.
Funny story is, the first time I found out I was wrestling, I was like, shit, man, I'm going to get hit with a cane, kendo sticks, and chairs, and put through a flaming table. Like, man, this guy's going to kill me. And, I come to find out, it's the exact opposite. Mustafa, as much as everybody sees him as that ECW original, ECW legend, he has a great mind for this business, man. He's got that old school mentality, too, where you travel with 5 hours, work 30-minute draw, and then drove another 5 hours again. So, he's taught me a lot as well. I've happened to have been in some a lot of car rides with him. Actually, he lives about 30 minutes from me. So, we're usually pretty good traveling buddies about that. And he has a lot of knowledge too. So, I wholehearily agree. If you're on a show with anybody that's been somewhere or anything like that, so pick their brains. That's just the only way you're gonna get better is pick the brains of people who've been there and done that.
Right, I can understand that, man. And what better brain to pick than an ECW original, someone that's obviously started in the independents and took an independent company and put it on the map. One of those guys out of the gangsters. That's saying a lot. Currently, you're the premier world heavyweight champion. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay. And it seems like you've had a little bit of a run here. So, who did you defeat for the championship?
I defeated Double D Dave Dutra, and back in actually June of last year, and coming up on a 1-year title reign. So, very, very fortunate to have go over on all these really talented competitors. So,
hey man, you gotta run like that, man. You just need the right mouthpiece a little bit, to talk you up a little bit and mention those 365 days.
Yeah, I do all my talking in the ring. So.
Amen to that, brother. So, why don't you tell the folks out there, when's the next time we can see Jeff Cobb in the ring? When's the next time you're going to be pitting someone with the shooting star press or the flipping body slam?
Let's see. This upcoming weekend, I'm going to be down in Gilroy, California for premiere. Be defending my title at the event I wanted on about 1 year ago. And then Sunday, I'll be in Stockton, California. I'll be in the Pro Wrestling Bushido's Warrior Way tournament, which has some big names in there as well. Roderick Strong will be in that tournament, Brian Cage, Johnny Goodtime. So there's some really big names in that tournament, and it's a stepping stone to the Pro Wrestling Bushido Heavyweight Championship. So I got my work cut out, but been definitely working towards my goal.
Amen to that. Hey, as long as you're booked, brother, that's all that matters. That means they're coming to pay to see you.
Right.
And how can we check out Jeff Cobb? How can we find out what's going on in your world? What's some of the social media outlets we can find you at?
Okay, so I just started doing Twitter a lot more now. I haven't gotten that thing down to a pack yet, but it is, I believe, Mr. Athletic J Cobb on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram, Jeff Cobb, easy to find. And I'm also on Facebook. I don't know that whole long thing, but you can just type in Jeff Cobb and you'll find me. There's not many Jeff Cobbs out there from what I've seen. So yeah, and then if you want to check out stuff on YouTube, type in Jeff Cobb Wrestling or Jeff Cobb, I guess. Usually the top two that come up is either me wrestling or some guy giving a speech. So 99% it's not the guy giving the speech, so look for the wrestling stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you need for bookings or whatever, I mean, Facebook or Twitter, best way to get a hold of me.
Damn right. Okay then. Well, thank you, Jeff. That was the premier wrestling heavyweight champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb. Want to thank you again for coming on to the OJP Wrestling Show. We hope to have you again in the near future, my brother. Best of luck to you in your title defenses out there on the road, and we hope to hear from you again soon. Good luck.
All right, thank you very much, man. Thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it, and really appreciate what you're doing, man.
Thank you, brother. Absolutely. The pleasure's all ours. We'll talk to you again soon.
Oh yeah, baby. No sucking, ducking, quack, quack this time. Nope. It's true. It's damn true. You just heard it here first on the OJP Wrestling Show. Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb, uncensored, uncanny, unbelievable. That's right, baby. Want to thank my man Jeff Cobb for coming out. He's got the title on the line this weekend. He's competing all in Bushido. Be sure to check it out. We'll be talking more about that later. But now it's time for the... Trust me, the snake pit. And first up in the news, baby. We already talked about Daniel Bryan being announced to appear at the Money in the Bank kickoff. Be sure to check Money in the Bank on the WWE Network this Sunday, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. Exclusively on the WWE Network. If you got DirecTV, you're shit out of luck, nigga.
And you're garbage.
You got Comcast, nigga, you're good.
Oh.
But anything else, nigga, you're done.
Garbage.
They're not promoting it. Fuck you.
Garbage.
Next up, we had an addition to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And you know what that was? Ryback, Curtis Axel and Ryback. They decided to challenge Goldust and Stardust to a match at Money in the Bank this Sunday.
Oh, they're going to get a whooping again?
Oh, they're going to get that whooping, and we're going to get to see the glitter. We're going to get to see that dust.
Yeah, they just wanted to put them in the pay-per-view just to get them in there. So, let's go beat
Goddamn
up
right.
Let's go beat up your jobbers again.
Well, I mean, yeah, I have no problem with it. Ryback blows.
Personal jobbers.
Well, Ryback blows. And I'm sorry, Curtis Axel, but you're just stale, brother. So I got no problem for y'all jobbing to the golden one and the star. Anyway, the next big piece of news was on a lighter note. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H officially announced the Connor's Cure charity in Pittsburgh, and they decided to dedicate that to Connor the Crusher. We talked about him early before in the OJP Wrestling Show and a bit of news in the past, and we lost Connor a few months back, and it's great to see that the WWE recognizes that little man and decided to create a charity for him for children with issues that he had as well. So we're not going to get into all that right now because we like to keep it fun for y'all. We like to keep it light.
No tears.
But we just want to we'll let y'all know that we still care. We got hearts. Anyway, moving on. On top of that, WWE announcer Josh Matthews has been fired within the past 24 hours, y'all. But for y'all that remember Josh Matthews, he was trained in WWE Tough Enough along with The Miz and other athletes as well in the past, and he didn't make it, unfortunately. So Yeah, man, that kind of blows. Like
Yeah.
Josh Matthews.